This episode is presented to you in the form of an audiobook. What does it mean to be quiet in a world that can't stop talking? Imagine a society obsessed with boldness and charisma, where the loudest voices are often celebrated and the quieter ones are overlooked. Yet, if we examine history, we find a different narrative. A story of change makers and innovators whose strength wasn't in their volume, but in their thoughtfulness, persistence, and introspection. Today, we embark on a deep dive into Susan Cain's transformative book, Quiet: The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. This isn't just a book about introversion. It's a manifesto for valuing the quieter voices in society and recognizing their vital contributions. Whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, or somewhere in between, this exploration will change the way you think about human temperament and its impact on every aspect of our lives. By the end of this journey, you'll understand why quiet is not a weakness, but a superpower. Let's begin. Part 1. The Extrovert Ideal: How Society Came to Favor Loudness. The Rise of the Likeable Fellow. Let's start with a question. Have you ever felt the pressure to speak up or stand out to be successful? That's the extrovert ideal at work. According to Susan Cain, this pervasive ideal dominates Western society and has shaped how we perceive success, leadership, and even happiness. This cultural shift began in the early 20th century. Before this, America's culture of character emphasized virtues like integrity, discipline, and humility. People were judged by their moral fiber rather than their ability to charm a crowd. But as industrialization brought people into bustling cities and workplaces, the focus shifted to a culture of personality. Success now required charisma, magnetism, and the ability to sell yourself. One figure who epitomized this change was Dale Carnegie. Raised on a poor farm, Carnegie transformed himself into a public speaking icon, teaching millions how to project confidence and charm. His book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, became a manual for success in the new extrovert-driven world. Carnegie's rise marked a tipping point. Being sociable and outgoing wasn't just desirable anymore. It was essential. Modern implications of the extrovert ideal. Fast forward to today. The extrovert ideal shapes everything from job interviews to social media. We idolize bold leaders who dominate meetings and charismatic influencers who thrive in the spotlight. Research shows that people who talk more in group settings are often perceived as smarter and more competent, regardless of the quality of their ideas. This bias affects hiring decisions, promotions, and even how we form personal relationships. But here's the catch. Cain points out that there's no evidence to suggest that being talkative correlates with having better ideas. Many quieter individuals, those who take time to think deeply before speaking, are overlooked in favor of their more vocal peers. This overemphasis on extroversion comes at a cost, silencing voices that might offer groundbreaking insights. Pause and reconsider. Are we valuing substance over style? Are we creating spaces where every voice, not just the loudest, can be heard? Recognizing the limitations of the extrovert ideal is the first step toward embracing a more balanced view of success. Part 2. Quiet Strength: How Introverts Shape the World. The story of Rosa Parks. History is filled with examples of quiet revolutionaries who changed the world. One of the most striking examples Cain offers is Rosa Parks. Often described as shy and soft-spoken, Parks's act of defiance on a Montgomery bus in 1955 sparked the civil rights movement. Her strength lay not in loud speeches or dramatic gestures, but in her quiet resolve. When the bus driver demanded that she give up her seat, she simply said, "No." That one word changed the course of history. Park's story reminds us that strength doesn't have to be loud to be impactful. Her quiet courage inspired thousands to stand up for justice, proving that true leadership can take many forms. Quiet leaders in action. Cain highlights other introverted leaders who made an indelible impact. Eleanor Roosevelt, for instance, was a deeply introspective person who used her reflective nature to champion human rights. Gandhi, known for his philosophy of nonviolence, led India to independence through quiet, steadfast determination. These leaders didn't conform to the loud, domineering archetype of leadership, and yet their influence was undeniable. Practical example. Think about team dynamics in modern workplaces. The loudest voices often dominate brainstorming sessions, but research shows that these settings can stifle creativity. It's often the quieter individuals who come up with the most innovative ideas after they've had time to reflect. Creating environments that encourage everyone to contribute, regardless of their temperament, leads to better outcomes. Quiet strength is transformative. Let's challenge the assumption that leadership and influence require a loud voice. Instead, let's create spaces where all styles of leadership are valued. Part 3. The biology of introversion and extroversion. Understanding the introverted brain. Why are some people energized by social interactions while others feel drained? The answer lies in biology. Cain explains that introversion and extroversion are rooted in how our brains respond to stimulation. Introverts have more sensitive nervous systems, making them thrive in low stimulation environments. Extroverts, on the other hand, seek high levels of stimulation to feel their best. The sweet spot of stimulation. This concept of stimulation is key to understanding why introverts and extroverts behave differently. Cain introduces the idea of the optimal stimulation level, the balance of activity and quiet that allows each person to thrive. Extroverts seek out parties, bustling workplaces, and high-energy activities to hit their sweet spot. Introverts, in contrast, feel most alive in quieter settings where they can reflect and recharge. For example, imagine two colleagues at a networking event. The extrovert thrives, moving from conversation to conversation, energized by the buzz. The introvert might enjoy a few deep conversations, but will eventually need to step away to recharge. Neither approach is better. Both are natural responses to different levels of stimulation. Understanding your optimal stimulation level can help you create environments where you can thrive. Whether you're an introvert, extrovert, or somewhere in between, honoring your natural preferences leads to better well-being and performance. Part 4. The value of solitude in a noisy world. The myth of groupthink. Have you ever been told that two heads are better than one? While collaboration has its place, Cain challenges the over-reliance on groupthink in modern workplaces. She explains that brainstorming sessions often prioritize the loudest voices, silencing those who think more deliberately. For example, Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, created the first personal computer while working alone in his garage. Wozniak credits solitude for allowing him to think deeply and innovate. Without quiet time, groundbreaking ideas like this might never have emerged. Solitude as a catalyst for creativity. Cain argues that solitude is not just a luxury. It's a necessity for creativity and innovation. From Einstein's theory of relativity to Chopin's nocturnes, some of humanity's greatest achievements were born in solitude. Quiet environments allow us to reflect, connect with our inner thoughts, and access deeper levels of creativity. Embrace solitude as a powerful tool for creativity and personal growth. In a world that often equates busyness with productivity, taking time for reflection can lead to your best work. Part 5. Practical insights for introverts and extroverts alike. For introverts, embrace your nature. Cain's most empowering message to introverts is simple. You don't need to change who you are to succeed. Your quiet strengths, like deep listening, focus, and thoughtfulness, are valuable assets in every area of life. Actionable tips. 1. Prepare for high-stakes moments. Introverts often feel more confident when they're well prepared. If you're giving a presentation or attending a social event, take time to rehearse and plan. 2. Leverage written communication. Many introverts excel at expressing themselves through writing. Use this strength to communicate your ideas clearly and effectively. 3. Find your recharge rituals. Whether it's reading, meditating, or taking a walk, prioritize activities that help you recharge. For extroverts, support. Quiet voices. Extroverts play a crucial role in creating inclusive environments. By understanding and valuing the strengths of their quieter peers, extroverts can foster collaboration and innovation. Actionable tips. 1. Pause and listen. In meetings or conversations, make space for quieter voices to contribute. 2. Respect boundaries. Understand that introverts may need downtime to recharge. Their need for solitude isn't personal, it's how they thrive. 3. Celebrate diverse strengths. Recognize that both loud and quiet contributions are essential for success. Part 6. Redefining leadership. Introverts as leaders. Contrary to stereotypes, introverts can make exceptional leaders. Cain highlights research showing that introverted leaders often excel in roles that require careful listening, thoughtful decision-making, and empowering others. For example, Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful investors, attributes his success to his methodical, introspective approach. The power of partnerships. Cain emphasizes the value of partnerships between introverts and extroverts. Together, these complementary temperaments can create balanced, effective teams. Think of Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King Jr., a quiet catalyst and a charismatic orator, working in harmony to drive change. Leadership isn't about fitting a specific mold. Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, your unique strengths can inspire and guide others. As we conclude, let's revisit the question we started with. What does it mean to be quiet in a noisy world? Susan Cain's quiet teaches us that introverts are not wrong for being different. Their quiet strength, deep thinking, and ability to listen are exactly what the world needs. Whether you're an introvert embracing your nature, an extrovert making space for quieter voices, or an ambivert navigating both worlds, remember this: the world doesn't need you to be louder. It needs you to be you. Take a moment today to celebrate the power of quiet. You might just find that the answers you've been searching for are waiting in the silence.